Hey, I'm Sean O'Sullivan. Welcome to another episode of Smash One Media. We've got a really special episode on this one here. We are interviewing Louis Delisio from the CXBL. We're going to be asking some questions that were brought forward by random individuals within the league, owners, coaches, players, and so on and so forth. We've got a bunch of questions here we're going to ask you, and a lot of guys would like to hear some answers to a few questions.
Absolutely.
So it's no secret out here that there is some discontent, but maybe we'll put all that to rest. Let's go with question number one here. Is there any possibility of a reduced cost of paint for the MXL? And in addition, to expand the West, a reduced cost in other areas as well?
It's in our best interest to find a way to reduce costs for players. Given the economic crisis, what's happening, all the manufacturers in paintball are having a severe problem sponsoring and spending money into venues nowadays.
Yeah.
It is in our complete best interest to find different venues, to find different income, trying to outsource different ways. Thus the reason we're getting major sponsors on jerseys. The minute we find that answer, we're definitely going to arrange that. But as of right now, I haven't found that answer yet, and we're still looking.
So in the other areas as well, like you look out west, we have a lack of teams out here. Is there a possibility of reducing the franchise cost at all for these teams?
The problem is right now with the West Coast, given that the league is actually generated from the East Coast, a lot of our staff flies in from the East to the West Coast. So we're looking for different ways, like I said, to find it, to offset it. But in 2010, I don't see any reduction in franchise cost, as the league is trying to do what it can, and believe me when I tell you that there's a lot of expenses that people don't see.
So you see in the future actually a possible reduction in cost. Well, we're going through the recession. It's actually just finishing, of course. But is it gonna? Because before the recession, the paint price is still the same.
I'm going to tell you honestly, in 2005 when I created this league, my main goal was that the CXBL would no longer have to pay for any paint or anything to do with the paint when you're playing the events. Problem is, obviously 5 years later, we're trying the best we can, but God knows I'm not a perfect guy. I'm trying to find the best answer for it. We haven't got it yet.
Absolutely. Okay. One issue that has come up with many individuals within the sport is about locking players into their league level to prevent sandbagging. How can we prevent upper level players from forming teams in the lower levels? And I know that is definitely something going on this year. I'm not going to mention any names. Those people, they're all my friends. But how do we stop very experienced players from dropping? I mean, with the RXL starting, how do we stop them from just forming an RXL team and just dominating? Maybe in the future we can get something like you look at you get CPPL cards, or you go down to the States, you get your cards, and it locks you into that division. Is there a way that we can keep track of players?
Yes, as of right now, what you're seeing online, if you notice the new xball.com site, we just invested a lot of money into that site, which is the Extreme Paintball League's got a more Extreme ID, it's going to be called.
Okay.
Everybody online is going to be signing up online for 2011 directly, not going through us with Brian anymore, but it'll be done online. Reason being is we're trying to avoid sandbagging. Everybody now is going to be going online, playing for their team, rostering their teams. All team owners will be doing that themselves online. The system itself will not allow a player dropping more than one division per year. So automatically, the CXBL player in 2011 cannot play RXL. Even if you asked me, you wouldn't be able to. But an MXL player that could have won MXL, unfortunately, due to the rules, can go to RXL, and there's nothing I can do within the rules to stop it.
Is there a possibility of putting a rule in to limit the amount of players going down?
You can. It could be. You know what? It's something that we haven't discussed, and it could be. That also is going to hurt the teams in the MXL, for instance, that they bought a franchise in MXL because last year RXL wasn't available. They haven't won one game. They lost everything. They got destroyed the whole way through. They want to stick as a team and go play RXL. Well, now you've just hurt them. I'll tell you right now, for the movement of the West Coast, expansion is needed in order to keep players in certain divisions. Mm-hmm. Until we did that, like from the MXL to CXBL in 2010, it's complicated. Everybody could have played any division, and really, it depends on the players. And we both know that there's players that shouldn't be playing in the MXL, but unfortunately, due to the rules, they're legal. Yeah.
Okay. Our next question, let's get on here. Another issue is refereeing. Now, it's not much to do with the day-to-day griping of this call, this call, blah blah blah. It's what a lot of people like to see is have a dedicated reffing staff. Having the MXL ref the CXBL and the CXBL ref the MXL. When you've got two teams that are brother and sister team, we'll call it, CXBL and MXL, they practice with each other. There is probably going to be a bias.
Absolutely.
And I've seen that in years past. There is definitely a bias in reffing, but is there any way, why can we not have a dedicated reffing staff that is completely impartial?
Absolutely. I can answer that question very easily. When you're running one field, I fly my people, all the referees from right now that are here. There's 22 staff on planes right now that took plane tickets to fly out to referee this event. So I think there's 2 local people helping us here. The rest are all staff from the East Coast. So that justifies the question that we do fly everybody in from the East to be impartial.
But that was for this event because we had both MXL.
Oh no, every event. I've flown in. I've always had a couple of people helping from here that I trust. But the majority of all staffing from 2005, from in the West was 2006, I believe, till then has been flown in. There's never been any event that's been refereed solely by Western people.
No, not solely, but there are players who still ref.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people actually have a bit of an issue with that.
It's a fact. Listen, guys, and this is a fact. And I tried. What we did originally was say we're going to hire all of our staff.
Yeah.
The problem I had is you get out of 10 staff, I got 8 perfect ones. I go to 20. You're at 16 perfect ones. You go to 30.
I understand. It's like any business.
Now the problem I have is that I came to a point where there's not that many people that are available only for weekends working CXBL. So we decided I'm going to get my main crew always on the CXBL field and get local help that we trust to help us at the lower levels. It's been proven to work out East and Central, and that's what's happening right now. And if you look at the forums and everything, realistically, you'll always hear that the CXBL's got phenomenal refereeing. And 50% of them are teams helping us out.
I gotta admit, this event actually I didn't see any bias. In years past, I've seen some biases on the field, but I definitely noticed this year that you did bring in a lot of refs from the out
Well, the
east,
referees you got right now, you got 6 that belong to the CXBL.
Yep.
And the other referees are all team players from out east and central that help us throughout there. So there's
I've seen some unfamiliar faces. The next one here, to many involved in the West, it appears that there is a bit of a bias towards teams to the East and Central.
Okay.
A big issue that, and it has nothing to do with the game, and it's not an issue that I personally really care about, but some people have brought up to me, is there's the boat party they have out there. You knew this question was going to come up. Out west here, the parties that we get are all 100% funded by the field owners.
That's correct.
Is the boat party funded by the CXBL or PBL?
The boat party is funded by the CXBL originally and paid by tickets by the players themselves. So the official answer to that is the players are paying for the party themselves. I arrange my DJ from the CXBL and my staff to put in snacks all over the boat, but the truth is the players pay for the players' party.
That answers that question. That's, like I said, for me it's not that big of an issue.
I know, there's a lot of
for a
people.
lot of guys, they're upset about that. I think because everyone just wants to be on a boat, of course. Everyone likes boats and trains.